Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and strap on because today we are gonna talk about J.K. Rowling. Pop culture gal. That's me. I'm pop culture gal. I know, tough subject. If you love her and you think she has never done anything wrong in her life, well, this video is for you. What's the big problem about J.K. Rowling? Except if you live under a rock or if you don't have Twitter, you may not have heard what's happening with J.K. Rowling. Let me spell it out for you. She's transphobic. Actually, I also want to talk about something that J.K. Rowling has been doing for years and that has been excused by many people and is not okay. I'm talking about pinkwashing. What's pinkwashing? Pinkwashing is when someone, or generally a corporation or a country, uses LGBTQ rights, has a big flag of look at us, we're inclusive. It goes from changing their logo to the pride flag on Pride Month but not doing anything to protect their pride workers, their queer workers. It's about using pride and LGBTQ imagery to appear inclusive when actually you're not, and you're not putting the work required for it. Pinkwashing for artists is more about acting like you've done something for representation and diversity in your art but not do it. J.K. Rowling is actually a real good example of that. Almost everyone has read the Harry Potter series. There's not one queer character in it. Not one. But after they were published and after they were a big success, J.K. Rowling comes out and say, Dumbledore is gay. I mean, yay for representation, but is it really representation if you only do it at the end and it can't be read? Like, you only know that if you go scouring for, extra little things on the universe, on internet. It's not in the books. It's not representation if you just say, oh yeah, he's gay, but you've never made it explicit in your craft. It's a big example of queer baiting, people teasing that, oh, it's homoerotic, oh yeah, it's gay, but it's never official. Like you toss a bone to the LGBTQ community, like, oh yeah, look, I did that for you, a queer character. Aren't you so happy about this fake ass diversity I'm doing for you? This is terrible because she's like, oh yeah, but he's queer, he's gay, enjoy, you have your representation. We do not. This is terrible because people who do that actually think this is good rep, oh yeah, but I thought of him as gay, but in the 7 books about it, never ever is it mentioned that Dumbledore is actually gay. Never. There's nothing in it. Not even a node or something, nothing. So this is not representation as you do it, this is not how it goes. It's just not. It's plain pinkwashing. So this is wrong. This is not you don't get to have the bonus point of diversity for the fake diversity you put in. This is not diversity, this is not inclusivity. This is a fucking joke. So yeah, that's how it started. She was called out a lot on that, but she never said anything on it, she just kept adding diversity after the fact. People were like, oh, is there a Jewish character in Harry Potter? She's like, oh yeah, this random person there. Oh, there's a lesbian somewhere, and it's like, but if you didn't put it in your book, and it's not real, it's not like, oh yes, there is a character like that in Hogwarts, but it's never actually been introduced. So this is terrible. It's like people think oh, but I was inclusive, there's a gay character. Well, I read 7 books, huge books that were world famous, the biggest sales behind the Bible, and it's never specified once. If your diversity is not explicit, it's not diversity. You don't get to say oh yeah, this character is gay, but you can cut it. It's like when Disney is oh yeah, big LGBTQ moment, and it's the kiss between background character that you don't even know their name and that they can cut off so the movie can go to China. If your diversity can be cut out of the story, it's not inclusive. You're just doing it for bonus points of, yay, I'm an inclusive artist and this is not how it works, This is not it. you're not doing it for the right reason. You're just doing it because, oh, people have been bothering me about it. I guess I'll toss them a bone and put a queer character in it, or a non-white character in it, or a disabled character in it. No, fellas, this is not how it works. So beside a whole pinkwashing, there's other issues with Harry Potter. Because there's also been talks about racism. I'm not gonna mostly talk about it because I am white. But if you want to know more about it, you can search for Concerned Person. There's a lot of controversy about the Cho Chang character, for example, which the name apparently is like very racist. It's born out of the cliche and it's not even a real Asian name. And before you say, oh, maybe she didn't know, she just wanted to be inclusive. I mean, with the research she does on her wordplay, like, I mean, Voldemort and everything, like, she gets her name from, like, deep etymology and deep research. Like, no, like, there's no excuse. If you do a deep research for your bad guy, and for actually every character's name has a meaning, like Remus Lupin, who is like, oh, wolf, and all of that, you cannot be excused because the one character you have that is not white actually has a name that is super racist. It's not an excuse. If you did research for all of the others, you do research for that one too. And, I mean, because that's not it. You may or you may not know that J.K. Rowling started writing other books. After Harry Potter, she started writing investigation books about, you know, police work, thriller, all of that, under a fake name because she didn't want to rely on her fame. It didn't work. The books didn't sell. Someone leaked it was her. They were a big sell. The pen name she used for this new series of books is actually Robert Galbraith. How is that problematic? Well, aren't I glad you asked? It's problematic because this man, you take one Google search and it shows up and say that this man is actually one of the pioneers of conversion therapy. I mean, yes, you gave us a gay Dumbledore and then you put a lot of books with the name of a fucking tyrant. So Robert Galbraith is actually one of the men who made conversion therapy a big thing. He was a big advocate for him, you know, like electric shocks to gay people will cure them. Yay! What a great man. And she got, her pen name is his name. Now, she did say she didn't know about it. What's the issue with that? I mean, you go deep into, you know, like the history of war, deep into linguistics to create character name. Except if they're not white, I'm sorry. And you're gonna tell me that for the name you choose for yourself, for a new series of books, you didn't even fucking Google it? Like, I mean, you're a millionaire, John. You have access to Google. If you want to be, you know, a good person, you can even use Ecosia, you know? Anyway, whatever you use, you just ask internet if this name exists, you know? Like, people do that all the time. Maybe she did the mistake of not checking that the name she took was actually the name of a big fucking homophobe. And, like, a terrible person. Like, really? Are you telling me that none of your media team, of your lawyers, actually Googled it? And it's not just that she was told this. And she said, I don't know. Like, if you didn't know, it's okay. You didn't do the research, the basic research. It's okay. It can happen to the best of us. But once you've been told this, you change it. I mean, you choose the name of a man who shocks people because he thinks he can cure them from something that is not a disease. Like, the level of homophobia of your pen name is through the fucking roof. So if someone tells you it's awful, do not use it anymore. Like, you didn't know? It's okay. Maybe it's true, you didn't know. Maybe you didn't even Google the pen name you chose for yourself. Weird. But it can happen. But, like, don't pretend that you can say, oh, I didn't know. It's okay. No, you didn't know, then you fucking change it and you don't use it anymore. But she kept it. She's keeping it. What a wonderful person. Back to it. This is not the last straw. As you have seen, she's been called out a lot on Twitter for her transphobia because she's awful. So let me be very, very clear in this video. trans women are women, trans men are men, and your trans misogyny is not welcome here or anywhere, really. Even if you are the author of a well-beloved childhood book series that a lot of the world enjoyed. Like, if you want to check her transphobia, it's very easy. Go on her Twitter, on the things she wrote, and you can't ignore it, it's there. She even buys stuff, like the last time she promoted a t-shirt she bought from a brand which is very, very obviously transphobic. Like, you just go on the Twitter of them that she tagged, and it's just like hella transphobic, and it's like the third tweet down. And you're like, girl, you have millions of people following you and you promote transphobic shit? Like, no. So yeah, she's transphobic. You can check that very easily on the internet, like she could have checked for Robert Galsbrae. So just check it, she is. And if you don't see anything transphobic, actually try and follow some trans people that will, you know, it's their feeling, and then if they say it's transphobic, it is. Do not question it. Now it brings another question. It's Harry Potter. We've all grown with it. I mean, Harry Potter is the first book I read, like the first real book that was not a child's book that I read. It was very important for me and I loved it very much, and it's important for a lot of people. But now what do? First of all, you cannot separate the artist from the art. It isn't possible, except if you actually use a guillotine. It's the only way, really. If you want to separate the art from the artist, you need to separate the head from the body. That's the only way, I'm sorry. Facts. You just can't. Like, people put themselves in their art. Like, her last book she wrote as Robert Galsbrae is deeply transphobic. It's about a man dressing as a woman to kill cisgender women. I understand that Harry Potter is deeply rooted in nostalgia and it's a big childhood thing and it's very important for a lot of people, but like, you already have the books, just stop buying merch, because every time you buy something Harry Potter that is official merchandise, you are financing a transphobic woman who does more harm than she does good, really. Like, you can't excuse it, it's not excusable. Trans women have a life expectancy of 30 years. 30? Like, the life expectancy of a cisgender woman is 85 years. Do you realize that? Actually, transgender people is a demographic where there are the most suicides because of the society's transphobia, because of people's transphobia, because when they come out, they can lose everything. Their whole family, their parents rejecting. Like, it's not easy, and these people just want to be who they really are. And when you're perpetuating a culture that is transphobic, you're harming these people. You're harming them. You are participating in a culture that kills them. They die because of the society you are implementing. So no, it's not excusable. No, you shouldn't buy any more Harry Potter thing. No, you shouldn't buy her books now. Don't give her money, don't give her ammunition. Don't give her the platform, don't grow the platform she has. She is transphobic, she used pinkwashing, she's not woke, people, she is... People are thinking, oh, they cancel her. Cancel culture does not exist. Let me be clear about that, it does not work, because you, in today's society, you cannot cancel privileged people. Anyway, this is for another video. What I'm saying is J.K. Rowling is transphobic, and you can forgive her for that. It's not your place to, and if you support her, what you're supporting is fucking awful. So yeah, I'm sorry, but Harry Potter is sad. There's a lot of other authors that are doing great work, and Harry Potter was an important part of our life as children. I'm saying ours because it was a big part of mine and I fucking loved it for years, but now I can't read it anymore. Because every time I look at it, I see this woman that is persecuting trans women online. Just for what? It shouldn't be a big debate. Like, she's transphobic. Goodbye. Let's not buy your books. As a word of the end, trans women are women. You shouldn't support J.K. Rowling. Really, you should not. She's never been an ally. Never. And she's being worse now. She's being openly transphobic on her social media and it's harming people. Real fucking people. So yeah. You can get over not using Harry Potter. Thanks for watching. See you soon for another video where hopefully I'll be less angry. Bye!